School. Santai siang sambil dengerin info kuliner, info olahraga, lifestyle, dan entertainment setiap hari dari jam 10 sampai jam 4 sore. Hanya di 95,3 FM RRI Pro 2 Denpasar, teman terbaik kamu.
Selamat siang teman Pro2, balik lagi barengan sama Tia di sini di After School spesial buat kamu. Buat teman Pro2, you know what? Ya di siang hari ini selama sejam ke depan dari jam 1 sampai jam 2, Tia bakal ditemenin sama narasumber yang spesial banget teman Pro2. Dan saking spesialnya ya, kita bakalan mostly bilingual ya teman Pro2 selama sejam ke depan, karena narsumnya ini international things teman Pro2. So langsung aja kita kenalan dulu sama narasumber kita yang spesial kali ini. Tapi mostly ngomongnya emang in English sama Pro2. Jadi yuk kita dengerin dengan benar-benar sama Pro2. So good afternoon Mister.
Good afternoon to you. Thanks for having me.
Oh my god, teman Pro2, ini tumben banget ya tiba-tiba Tia dihadapkan dengan narasumber yang bakalan full English. Dan ini emang mostly yang kita bahas adalah something you need to know teman Pro2. Ini gak jauh-jauh dari RRI juga, karena kita bakalan bahas tentang journalism. So sir, maybe you can talk about your background today, about who is these people talk with Maritia here.
Well, thanks again for having me. I'm Daniel Glick, and I'm a journalist from the United States. I live in Colorado, which is right in the middle of the country. Mm-hmm. And I've worked in the media for more than 30 years in pretty much every part of it. I used to work on newspapers and magazines. I've written books. I've been on the radio, and I've been on the television, and I've produced television and short films. So pretty much the whole media landscape.
Wow, it's very demure ya kalau teman Pro2. Kalau bahasan kita di siang hari ini bakalan bahas tentang memang jurnalis teman Pro2. Dan bahkan ya dari Daniel ini memang tidak hanya di jurnalis saja teman Pro2, memang sudah banyak diceritakan juga tadi bahwa dia memang terjun mostly emang di bidangnya di in literature, right? So, teman Pro2, di sini kita bakal bahas tentang what is journalism and also what is good journalism for you. Siapa tahu nih ada yang pengen menjadi jurnalis, masih bingung juga apa sih yang harus dilakukan. Sok atuh kita belajar sama-sama teman Pro2 selama sejam ke depan dengan Daniel pastinya. So, Daniel, you talk about what is a journalist. So, you are a journalist, right? So, you said before that you need to know about journalists, and you already know about journalists in 13 years, right? It's so long time ago, start from now. So what is journalism in your point?
Journalism, really at its most basic, is about seeking the truth. It's about telling stories about the world around us, but real stories to the extent that we can. And we try to be a check on power. We speak truth to power, and we look for ways to help explain the world to people who read what we write or watch what we broadcast, and to try to make sense of our world.
So, teman Pro2, jadi apa yang disampaikan sama Daniel itu memang apa sih, gimana sih cara menceritakan tentang dunia ini, apa sih yang sebenarnya terjadi. So what happened in our world today, right Daniel? So jadi teman Pro2, kalau misalnya jurnalisme itu memang seperti yang sudah Daniel sampaikan tadi ya, kurang lebihnya memang untuk menceritakan permasalahan dunia terkini yang what's new also ya.
Right, well, news, what happened yesterday and what can we do to make sense of it? But I think at its most fundamental for me, journalism is an essential part of a democracy. We consider it in the United States, we call it the fourth estate. So we have the judicial branch, we have the executive branch, and we have the legislative branch, but we also have what we call the fourth estate. It's not governmental, but we act as watchdogs. And we provide a service to the public to inform them about what's happening. And sometimes it's to be a watchdog on people who are not performing their jobs the way we would like them to.
Jadi teman kedua sedikit ya sampaikan juga. Jadi maksudnya Daniel teman kedua memang tujuannya untuk memberikan informasi terkini biar kamu nih tahu nih apa sih sebenarnya what's happening today, bahkan yesterday juga. Jadi emang fresh special buat kamu teman kedua berita yang memang disampaikan. Salah satunya juga ada di RRI juga. So maybe a little bit intermezzo. In RRI also made special information in rri.co.id. So like journalist is also happen in this time.
Right.
And then about his background, teman kedua memang sangat panjang sekali, sangat banyak sekali teman kedua. But bahas tentang jurnalisme ya teman kedua, memang harus bisa nih menyampaikan dengan baik. So, sir, how about the journalism and how to develop to be a journalism? How to be a good journalist in this era right now?
Well, that's a wonderful question, and I think many people in journalism are struggling with that because in this era, there are so many different ways that people get their information, and it's changing all the time. We used to have what we call legacy journalism, the Jakarta Post, for example. You know, everybody read that, or at least a lot of people did, and now there's so many different ways that people can get information, but the essentials of journalism, who, what, when, where, why, what happened yesterday, what happened last week, what's going to happen, trying to be a person that explains and helps people understand the forces that are coming to bear on our societies and to ask really good questions of the people in power and to hold them in check. And also to celebrate the things that people do that are wonderful and the essential humanity that we have, and to celebrate that with stories about people doing wonderful things as well as people who aren't doing wonderful things.
Oh my God, journalism is so wonderful, right? But what is the key point in journalism in your point?
Well, there's an old saying in my line of work that journalists are here to afflict the comfortable and comfort the afflicted. And that means that we're here to make sure that people who are too comfortable don't use their power and abuse their power to take advantage of people who are less fortunate. So sometimes what we try to do is tell stories about people who don't have power, who need an opportunity to tell their stories, and to also look at people who are in power, who are abusing their power, and to hold a big flashlight up to it and say, is this okay? Do people, again, in a democracy, who have the choice to choose the people who are their leaders, to hold them accountable for their actions?
So that means in journalism, the journalists need to explore what is the point in this era, in this session. Like the people need to know which one is better, which one is good, right?
Well, good and truth is in the eye of the beholder, but so there's a lot of different opinions out there, and that's what good journalism does. It seeks a variety of opinions. It doesn't try to tell a story that you've determined what the story is beforehand. What you do is you go out and you try to find the story and you learn about it. And if somebody says one thing about somebody else, you go to that person and say, that person said this. Is this true? And you try to find a way to use your critical thinking to ascertain what is close to true, at least. I don't think there's such a thing as absolute truth.
Okay, so the journalist needs to thinking more how to be a good writer and how to develop that information to people who want to read it, right?
Exactly. And we have different ways of doing that. Sometimes we talk to other people, sources, people who have firsthand knowledge about something that happened. And sometimes we can go to reports or documents of different kinds, government reports. And sometimes we can just go out in the field and look and see and smell for ourselves what we see and report on what we see.
Oke, jadi teman pedua memang menjadi jurnalis itu harus berpikir dengan critical thinking teman pedua. Jadi tidak bisa yang namanya memposisikan di satu posisi aja, tapi memang harus menyampaikan apa sih yang seharusnya seorang jurnalis sampaikan teman pedua. Jadi gimana nih, kamu udah kebayang nggak sih how to be a good journalist versi kamu teman pedua? Karena pastinya Daniel juga sudah menyampaikan tadi bahwa memang kalau menjadi jurnalis itu harus memang ya menyampaikan sesuatu itu tidak berdasarkan satu poin teman pedua, jadi memang harus lebih explore lagi ya, apa sih sebenarnya yang mau kamu tulis, informasi mana yang mau kamu sampaikan. Nggak boleh membahas tentang satu titik saja teman pedua, harus dibedah sedibedah-bedahnya mungkin teman pedua. Jadi kalau misalnya kamu pengen nanya-nanya nih sama Daniel, bisa banget langsung di YouTube-nya RRI Denpasar teman pedua, karena pastinya ada 2 session lagi yang bakal kita obrolin spesial buat kamu di after school ini. Dan jadinya kamu yang masih kepo nih what is a good journalism lagi nih, bisa banget stay tune di sini karena pastinya nanti kita bakal balik lagi setelah lagu-lagu yang berikut ini. So Daniel, we would like to continue our things today but after this song. So don't go anywhere, stay tuned here in 95.3 RRI Pro 2 Denpasar.
I'm ready. Today's Recap. Today's Recap.
Sesi buat kamu yang ingin cerita dan merefleksikan kejadian hari ini, atau mau dengerin info film, musik, dan info menarik lainnya.
Dengerin setiap hari jam 8 sampai dengan jam 12 malam hanya di 95,3 FM RRI Pro 2 Denpasar, teman terbaik kamu.
Pro 2 FM, teman terbaik kamu. Teman terbaik kamu.
Pro 2.
Just admit it. See, I gave you faith, turned your doubt into hope, and can't deny it. Now I'm all alone and my joys turn them open. Tell me, where are you now that I need you? Where are you now? Where are you now that I need you? Couldn't find you anywhere. When you broke down, I didn't leave you. I was by your side. So where are you now that I need you? Where are you now that I need you? When nobody else was paying. I gave you the shirt off my back, what you saying, to keep you warm. I showed you the game everybody else was playing. That's for sure. And I was on my knees when nobody else was praying. Oh Lord. Where are you now that I need you? Where are you now that I need you? Where are you now that I need you? I need you the most.
Sembilan 5,3 Pro 2 FM, teman terbaik kamu. Masih barengan sama Tia, teman Pro 2, dan pastinya bareng sama Daniel di sini buat kita belajar bareng-bareng nih, bahas tentang what is journalism, apa sih itu journalism, teman Pro 2, dan gimana sih cara kamu buat bisa menjadi a good journalism. So, langsung aja kita di sini balik lagi ngobrol sama Daniel, teman Pro 2, yang pastinya udah standby buat menceritakan gimana sih kerennya dia, teman Pro 2, keren banget teman Pro 2. So, langsung aja kita balik ngobrol sama Daniel di sini. So, good afternoon Daniel.
Good afternoon.
Still ready to talk with me?
I'd love to.
So, listener, we come back again with Daniel, and also we talk about journalism and what is a good journalism special for you until 2 p.m. today. So, maybe we talk about what is the problem when you do the journalism.
Well, there's so many. I think you could broadly say there are two kinds of stories. One is the kind of story that people want you to tell. That's why people have public relations people, and they contact journalists and say, come tell our story and make my company important or rich or whatever, or me famous. And then there are the other ones, which are the ones that people don't want told. And it's because they're hiding things, or because they're corrupt, or because there's something that's gone wrong and they don't want people to know about it. And those are the really difficult ones to cover as a journalist. And I think these are the stories that are the most important for journalists to cover when people are doing things that are running away with public money or harming other people or scamming other people. I think those are the kinds of stories that are really difficult for us to cover. And the other problem right now is that journalism is in a real crisis around the world. It's being suppressed and repressed by governments all over the world. Journalists are being threatened and killed all over the world. And importantly, the business of journalism is not figured out how to live in the digital age. And so there's no good models to support journalism. And so if there's one thing I'd love to leave all your listeners with, it's that we all need to support journalism. And that sometimes means paying money for a subscription, for an online subscription or something like that, because journalism can't happen for free. Because the people that do journalism for free are generally people who have another agenda.
Okay, so there's a lot of problem, but you need to have that 2 point, right? Jadi teman P2 memang banyak banget problemnya ya dari jurnalisme ini, apalagi ya seperti yang kita tahu di akhir-akhir ini ya teman P2, banyak banget yang tidak percaya ya dengan adanya jurnalis ini teman P2, kayak ya netizen ya yang memilih beritanya, padahal jurnalis sudah menyiapkan teman P2, tapi kamu nih sebagai netizen ya memilih berita itu yang gimana teman P2. Dan problem yang kedua disampaikan Daniel tadi pastinya adalah how to be bisnisnya teman P2, gimana sih kamu kalau misalnya kamu dikasih berita yang gratis itu gimana, kalau kamu dikasih berita yang berbayar itu gimana teman P2. And then teman P2, I would like to ask about how about public trust.
Right. Well, I think the most important responsibility that a journalist has is to get it right, is to be honest and to have as much integrity as possible, and not to take sides. We're not judges. We are people who bear witness, and we ask questions, and we're curious about the world, and we seek opinions from a wide variety of sources. And if we get something wrong, we fix it. That's a really important thing, because we're human and we don't get everything right. But what we do is have the rules, if you will, of our profession, and that is to make sure that what you say or what you write is accurate, and that you have reason to be able to believe that that's true, because you've heard it from several people, because you've read it in a report, because you've observed it yourself, and then you use that critical thinking hat that I was telling you about, and you put it together in as accurate a way as possible and gain that trust of the public over time.
So the journalist needs to know which words are better for journalistic, right?
Words and who to talk to and who not to talk to and who to believe, and every person's opinion isn't necessarily a fact.
Ya, jadi problemnya memang teman P2, sometimes yang disampaikan sama narasumber itu ya dari jurnalis ya maksudnya teman P2 nggak sepenuhnya fakta teman P2, ada yang bias juga. Jadi inilah problemnya dari jurnalis teman P2 terkait dengan gimana sih pemilihan kata yang benar, siapa yang harus dituju dan siapa yang seharusnya enggak dituju teman P2. Jadi gimana nih untuk kamu yang kalau pengen nulis nih, apalagi menjadi jurnalis ya teman P2, menyampaikan berita yang hot, yang masih panas teman P2, harus hati-hati dalam menggorengnya teman P2. Hati-hati nanti kamu yang digoreng ya teman P2. Jangan sampai kamu yang menjadi bahan gorengannya. So hati-hati dalam menjadi jurnalis teman P2. So I talk to the listener about how to deliver the right thing. So don't ask like something to say right. Don't write something wrong in your journalistings. And then I would like to ask about what is about the challenge nih, about the future of journalism. What's your point about the future journalism?
Well, as I said before, I think we're in a crisis time. We're in a place where we know that all over the world, people who are trying to seize or keep power, one of the first things they do is seize the media or control the media. And sometimes it's by literally taking over a broadcast station, perhaps this one, or sometimes it's more subtle by putting pressure on journalists or people who own journalism outlets. The other problem we have is that we have this consolidation of media ownership in richer and richer people who are often people who have a certain political agenda of their own. And that's a really big challenge for the world, because the relationship between countries that are the most corrupt and the ones that have the freest press or the least free press is almost one-to-one. So when governments successfully suppress the media, they also control the story about the corruption and the how to put it, the bad things that people in power are doing.
Okay, so it's about money, power, and politics, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So how to solve that problem, in your opinion?
I think there are a lot of minds that are much better than mine that are putting themselves to it. But I think one of the things that I believe strongly is that people, all of us, need to recognize the importance of journalism, that it's not just something that you pick up a paper and use it to line your birdcage. It's a really important functional part of a democracy, because being informed and being an informed citizen is fundamental to any democracy anywhere in the world.
Oh, it's so hard and it's so hard to talk about that, right?
It is.
So we need to know which word is better for journalism. And then about the journalism, there's a lot of problem, teman berdua. Banyak banget problemnya memang ya. Yang salah tiganya ya adalah tentang uang, tentang power, tentang siapa sih yang berkuasa, dan pastinya tentang politik juga. So ya, seperti yang kita lihat juga teman berdua, memang beritanya tuh sometimes we need to take down the information also, right?
True. And sometimes people, citizens, are really important. Citizen journalism is another thing. And journalists rely on people. They rely on people who know the price of tomatoes during Ramadan and how they go up and why. And they have to talk to people. Journalists need to be out in the world circulating. They can't just be sitting behind their desks. And that takes money. It takes money. It takes taxi fare. It takes money for your internet connections. It takes money to travel to another city. And that's the kind of business model that people are struggling to come up with in this day, when we used to be able to do that with regularity. When I started my magazine career, magazines would let me go anywhere in the world I wanted to go to do a story. And now to get a magazine to put me on an airplane is very difficult to do. And so it's hard to go out and do that part of journalism that is being on the ground and talking to people and smelling what it smells like and checking out the things that you hear yourself.
Okay. Ya, bisa didengar juga teman berdua, banyak sekali ya problem dari jurnalis ini. Tidak 100% didukung, tapi kita tetap harus 100% ya mengorbankan diri kita dalam menyampaikan sesuatu dengan benar. Dan pastinya teman berdua, kalau misalnya kamu baca berita nih, apalagi dari RRI, jangan semata-semata kamu hujat teman berdua, karena pastinya ada proses yang sudah dilewati, sudah mencari fakta dan teraktual juga teman berdua. But Daniel, I would like to ask about what's about if you write something, maybe you post it at 1 p.m. but in 2 p.m. you have something different point of people. So what you need to do about that?
Well, you can write another story.
Oh.
I mean, that's that simple. And I think it is one of the responsibilities of journalists to say, I got that wrong, and to come back and write a better story or broadcast another story, or to say, I have new information now. Because honestly, the people that I know that keep their same point of view, even when they get new information, That's stupidity. But people who are smart say, I was wrong. I didn't know that. I know more now. I'm going to give you more information. And that's what we are. We're conduits, really, of information. We don't create the information. We try to pass it on. We try to gather it, verify it, and then we pass it on to the people that read or listen to our broadcasts or our journalism.
So in this point, so you need to renew the information, right?
Of course.
Wow, that's absolutely different, right? Because there's a lot of sometimes I read the information in the internet, like in 1 p.m. They write about A, and then in 2 p.m. I read about they renew the information about B. Like this is a little bit confused, but maybe listener also need to know why they write another point in same problem like that.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot of problem in journalism, but we need to be a good journalism, right? So maybe I would like to ask about your point, your history about what is your biggest problem in journalism from 13 years.
I think the biggest problem is always telling stories that people try to hide. So doing investigative journalism is and it's a dying art because it takes so much time, and that gets back to the economics of journalism, which is it's just a fact that it takes time sometimes to dig and dig and dig and go back to sources and say, wait a second, you told me this, but somebody else told me that. Do you want to try again and tell me why you said that? Because it's clearly what you said was wrong. And then people give them a chance, and sometimes you just keep digging and digging and digging until, and of course, when there are people in positions of power, say the police, and they have an interest in hiding a story, especially, let's just take a horrible kind of example when a police officer maybe beats somebody who they've arrested. They handcuff them and beat them. The police don't want that story to be told, so they will try very, very hard to suppress that story. And so sometimes it takes coming back and back and back to get different points of view and to get another police officer to say, yeah, no, I saw my colleague do that. That's a very hard story to write, and it's a very hard story to do, but it's such an important story to write.
So you finished that problem?
Finished it? No.
Oh my God, sadly there's a lot of problem, and also need a power to finish about that news, right? So listener, kalau misalnya kamu pengen menulis sesuatu, pastikan itu tidak mengguncang dunia ya teman berdua. But pastinya kita akan balik lagi ngobrol barengan sama Daniel. So Daniel, we need to continue again after this song. Jadi jangan kemana-mana teman berdua, stay tune terus di sini ya, karena kita bakalan belajar tentang jurnalisme lanjut lagi nantinya setelah beberapa lagu yang berikut ini. Jadi jangan kemana-mana, stay tune terus di sini di 95,3 Pro 2 FM, teman terbaik kamu.
Pro 2 FM,
Teman terbaik kamu.
teman terbaik kamu. Pro 2.
It can't be said I'm an early bird. It's 10 o'clock before I say a word. Baby, I can never tell. How do you sleep so well? You keep telling me to live right, to go to bed before the daylight. But then you wake up for the sunrise. You know you don't gotta pretend. Baby, now and then, don't you just wanna wake up dark as a lake, smelling like a bonfire, lost in a haze. If you're drunk on life, babe, I think it's great. But while in this world, I think I'll take my whiskey and leave. My coffee black and my bed at 3. You're too sweet for me.
RRI Digital. Nikmati kemudahan interaksi, partisipasi, dan kolaborasi dengan RRI Digital. Interaksi, dengar dan saksikan siaran langsung kami, daftarkan akun kamu, dan mulailah berinteraksi di setiap program dan konten kami. Partisipasi, kreasikan konten kamu dengan berita, podcast, vlog, film, musik, dan playlist. Kolaborasi, kami mengajak berbagai komunitas untuk berkembang bersama melalui digital platform. RRI Digital sekarang menghadirkan terobosan baru, workspace platform dan online learning platform dengan fasilitas-fasilitas unggulan, monitor impact dan outcome, meeting online, video conference, dan library. RRI Digital menghadirkan fitur-fitur untuk peningkatan interaksi, partisipasi, kolaborasi, workspace, dan learning. Yuk segera download RRI Digital.
Balik lagi barengan sama Tia teman P2, pastinya masih di After School Special buat kamu. Dan masih kita bahas-bahas about journalism. Jadi teman P2 masih barengan sama Tia dan Daniel juga di sini. So, are you ready for last session, Daniel?
Bring it on.
Okay, let's burn this session. No, teman P2 bercanda ya. Jadi teman P2 mungkin di last session ini kita bakal bahas about experience and what is the experience when you do between about journalism and good journalism.
Well, I'm thinking about times where I feel like my work made a difference in the world, made somebody's life better. And I remember working on a series of stories about oil and gas development right near where I live in Colorado. And the oil and gas companies were starting to bring in more and more drilling operations right next to where people were living. And that they honestly just lied all the time to these people about what was going to happen to them and what kind of effects they would have. And when I started talking to them and talking to the health officials and talking to local government officials who were approving these wells that were harming people, that were making them sick, and that when I was able to do some stories that raised the profile of their problems so that the state legislature passed laws to try to protect these people, that's the kind of thing that's kind of heartwarming as a journalist, to feel like you're making a difference in the world and you're making people's lives a little bit better.
Oh my God, I would like to big applause for you. Oh my God, that's a good experience, right? Oh my God. Oh my God, I would like to say thank you to you to do that things, because maybe also there's a lot of people need to know about what is the problem and how to solve the problem. And also journalists can do that, right?
We can, and we can do it with the help of people. I mean, that story I was just telling you about, it was people who contacted me and said, you need to tell this story because this is happening and I don't have a voice now. I feel like I've been screaming, I've been writing letters, and nobody's paying any attention to me. And so it was with their help that I was able to tell the story. And I think they were very grateful, and I was very grateful that they shared their story with me.
Okay, and also they sure tell you a story, a right story, right?
Yep.
Okay. Oh my God, that's so inspiring me to do, but maybe try later after this session. Maybe I need to try to write something happen. There's a lot of problem also in Bali, but maybe how a journalist to report that problem in a right way, right?
Right. Well, there's a lot of tools out there, and the most important one is just to keep your eyes open and be curious and to talk to people.
Okay. Don't scared to talk to new people, right?
Absolutely not. It's the best part of my job is I get to talk to new people all the time.
Oh my God, around the world?
Around the world.
Oh my God. Kamu mau nggak teman P2 around the world banget nggak tuh dibahasnya ya? Jadi Danielnya emang banyak banget teman P2 keliling-keliling ya. Bahkan kemarin baru habis dari Ubud. Oh iya, mending kita tanya nih tuh ya teman P2. So what's your latest experience in Ubud?
It was wonderful. I got to be part of the Writers Festival, the Readers and Writers Festival, and meet with other writers and colleagues from around the world. And that's it's a lonely job to be a writer, honestly. And so to meet other people who are doing the same thing and to share notes and share stories is really wonderful. And the kind of people that make their living with their minds and with their hearts and with their creativity. It's a special tribe of people, and it was really special to be able to be with some of them.
So congratulations for finish that. And maybe I would like to ask, what is your next project after today?
That's a secret.
Oh, yeah.
No, I am always looking for interesting stories to tell, and sometimes I don't know where the next one's going to come from.
Yeah, Bener juga sih teman berdua. Karena memang jurnalis itu akan mencari something new ya, mencari sesuatu yang spesial yang boom baru terjadi, baru bisa ditulis teman berdua. Jadi memang Daniel ini adalah penulis yang pastinya mencari berita terkini. Jadi salah ya kalau misalnya Tia nanya apa yang akan dilakukan, ya pastinya mencari yang terkini teman berdua ya. And of course I would like to ask the last question in the last session. And what is your advice for the journalism that hear your voice today?
Well, it's some of the same things we've been talking about this whole time. Anybody who wants to be a journalist has to be a truth seeker, has to be very, very committed to it, because it's not an easy life, but it's such a rewarding life, and it's so important to society to have people who are truth seekers, who are storytellers about the world around us. And so I think if this is your calling, follow it.
Oh my God. So we need to combine what's my head said, so my heart say.
And what my pocketbook says.
Oh, okay. Maybe I need to know what is the newest problem. I need to write it. And maybe I need to know about your point, about what I write today. And then I need to know, is it okay or not with you? Is it okay?
Sure.
Oh my God, I'm scared. Takut banget teman berdua, langsung direvisi sama senior ya. Tapi ini bukan sembarang revisi teman berdua, siapa tahu dipublish juga ya. But yaudah ya, kayaknya ini memang teman berdua adalah sesuatu yang sangat seru ya kalau misalnya menulis itu. Dan kalau misalnya kamu pengen nulis teman berdua, boleh banget kamu dicek juga. So maybe listener also need to know where they can see or read your journalist things.
Well, I have a couple books, and I have magazine articles in many different places. And I suppose if you just Google my name, you'll find some of them.
Oh my God. Just simple things, right? Maybe about social media?
I don't do much social media. I find it, frankly, to be a little bit of a distraction for my life right now. But I'm in a different stage of my life than a young journalist starting out, which it's a time where social media is important, and you have to have a social media presence to do that. I'm lucky enough that for me, it's something that I don't have to worry about as much, and I don't enjoy it, to be really honest.
Oh, you don't need social media in your life, right? Keren banget teman berdua, sudah tidak memerlukan sosial media ya, karena pastinya dia sudah menemukan bagaimana sih, apa sih problemnya tanpa sosial media. Jadi kamu nih yang kecanduan sosial media, jangan terlalu banyak teman berdua. Malahan kamu yang membuat problem dalam hidupmu sendiri ya. And Daniel, maybe it's the last question, not also this question, right? But what is a conclusion of what we talked today?
Oh, the conclusion. It's so hard to come up with one conclusion, but I think I'll just say journalism is important. And even though it's challenging in so many ways, and the media is under threat, and in both financially and politically, that it's indispensable for a functioning democracy to have a functioning media. And so I want to leave everybody with that thought, that journalism is important, it matters, and that we've got to find ways to support it.
Okay. So your conclusion here is journalism is important in your life, right? And also in our life, listener. Because if you not know what is the problem today, you don't know what you need to answer from your question. So, Daniel, what's your point about my inspiration? Like another day, another problem. Is it right?
There are no shortages of challenges in the world. Pick your challenge and go try to fix it.
Okay, because I always take it in my mind like, it's okay, Tia, another day, another problem. So if you want to fix something, it's okay, that's your problem. Okay, Daniel, maybe it's enough about what we talked today about journalists and journalism. What is a good journalist and how to be a good journalist. So, teman Pro 2, terima kasih banget buat kamu yang sudah dengerin. Karena pastinya Daniel also give his conclusion about journalist is important in his life and also in our life, teman Pro 2. Jadi, that's all about today with me here. And also thank you very much, Daniel, for come here to RRI Pro 2 Denpasar. Sorry if I made a mistake in this session.
Terima kasih.
Oh,
Yeah, thank
oh
you.
my God. Oh, maybe the last one for conclusion. You talk with Indonesia in one language in Indonesia.
I don't speak a lot of bahasa.
Okay, you can try it because another day another problem. So this is a problem for you.
A challenge. I'll take
Yeah,
it
a
on.
challenge.
Yeah.
Okay, you take it. The challenge. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Suksma.
Oh, Suksema. Okay, Suksema Mawali. Thank you very much, Daniel, for coming here and also accept my challenge to talk in Indonesia and also in Bali. And I think teman Pro 2 that's all about barengan sama Daniel di sini bahas tentang journalism. Thank you very much teman Pro 2 yang udah nonton pastinya barengan sama Daniel ini. Kalau misalnya Daniel bilang dia punya challenge-nya teman Pro 2, inilah challenge-nya Tia ya. Buat dialog in English dalam 1 jam non-stop teman Pro 2 dan pastinya kita sudah bahas tentang journalism tadi. Jadi that's all barengan sama Daniel di sini teman Pro 2 barengan sama Tia juga. Tapi sama Tianya nggak cukup ya karena masih barengan sampai jam 3 nantinya. Jadi jangan kemana-mana, stay tune terus di sini di 95,3 Pro 2 FM, teman terbaik kamu. Say bye-bye to listener.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Tia.
Bye-bye.
Every time I see your face